Today, I'm going to talk to you about why none of Donald Trump's lawsuits aimed at overturning the election are going to succeed. I'm also going to tell you why the current Supreme Court, which consists of a majority of conservative justices, are not going to overturn Roe v. Wade or probably any other hugely significant prior decisions. And guess what? The reason for both of those things, in my opinion, is the same. Thank you very much for tuning in to Joe the Lawyer. I'm a practicing Pittsburgh attorney. I do criminal defense, personal injury, a little bit of everything. If you like my content, go ahead, subscribe, like, comment, and share. It's a free way to support the show. Also, tonight, Tuesday, I forget the date, December 1st, I'm going to go live. I'm going to take legal questions. So tonight, 8 o'clock, hop on this channel if you got legal questions for me. And oh crap, I just noticed my sign is a little out of whack. So the elections are not going to be overturned by the Trump lawsuits. Also, the current Supreme Court is not going to overturn Roe v. Wade. These are my opinions. Now, you may think that, I'm wrong about that. You also may think that, there's reasons that it should be overturned or reasons that the election should be overturned or Roe v. Wade should be overturned. All right. But I'm going to give you the number one reason why I don't think either of those things will happen. And let me give a shout out to Scott Adams. All right. Because he got this rolling in my head. Check out his channel, I believe it's called Coffee with Scott Adams on YouTube. He's the creator of Dilbert. Okay. The reason why neither of those things will happen is because courts, and when I say courts, I'm talking about judges because they're the one who run the courts. Judges and courts love one thing above all else. They love stability. They love stability, certainty, and predictability. Okay? So, I'm not going to get into the merit of every one of these Trump lawsuits. I may in another video because some people asked me. I looked at some of the filings in it and it was like 100 pages. So it'd take me a lot of time to do that. I could do it. I may do it over the weekend. Okay. But I don't think any of the Trump lawsuits are going to succeed in overturning any of the election or even any of the states. And that's because the courts love stability. And they know, the courts, these judges know, if they flipped Pennsylvania or they flipped Michigan or they flipped Georgia and it overturned the results of the election, all right, it would cause instability throughout the country. It would create a legitimacy challenge. There would be a disruption in the exchange of power from one administration to the next. Perhaps protests, riots, destruction in the streets. Okay, America is already greatly divided. It would lead to even more Americans going at each other's throats. All right, and I believe the court's desire to avoid that may even override. Okay, a reason where there might be some legitimacy to Donald Trump's claims. Now, I'm not saying that there is. I'll be honest with you. I have not looked at every single legal challenge that he has filed. There's been dozens, all right? So I'm not saying there is or isn't, but I'm saying the courts are likely to slap them down because they want stability. They don't want to be perceived as changing an election, all right? Now, back in 2000, that was the first election I voted in, Gore v. Bush. All right, they had to make a decision. It was one state, hundreds, couple thousands of votes all came down to. It was one state that was going to decide the outcome of the election. The Supreme Court was boxed in. They were boxed in. They had to make a decision, and they did. They were decisive, and the country respected it. The country was not as divided as it is now. All right. But now we're looking at Trump trying to overturn multiple states. If multiple states were overturned, it could create an impression that the courts are biased. Okay. And it could delegitimize our entire political system. So I just don't believe it's going to happen, whether it should or shouldn't. What I truly hope is over the next couple of years, we can make sure that our election system works efficiently. I want all the votes. Personally, I think all the votes should be decided in advance so that we have a decision on election day. It's how it's been my whole life, dragging this out. It's nuts, okay? But the courts love stability. They're not going to do it. Now, I'm not making a value judgment on that, okay? I'm just giving you my opinion of how I think courts and judges behave, all right? I'm not making a value judgment on whether it should be overturned or not. And that's true of the next issue I want to talk about, Roe v. Wade. So lots of liberals are worried that the current makeup of the court will overturn Roe v. Wade, all right? But for the same reasons, I don't believe it will happen, even though we have the most conservative court in recent history, right? I mean, you got Clarence Thomas, extremely conservative Supreme Court Justice. Alito, Amy Coney Barrett, okay, Gorsuch, which I don't know how conservative he is, but Kavanaugh, all right, it's a very conservative court right now. Even John Roberts was appointed by a conservative justice, though he appears to have gone leans liberal. Anyway, I don't believe they're going to do it. I don't believe they're going to do it, even if the challenge was brought. I could see them chip away at it, okay, and make the contours a little bit different. But to overturn Roe v. Wade, I don't think it'd be as cataclysmic as the election being overturned, all right, but it would be huge. Same thing, protests in the streets. The court would be seen as illegitimate, all right. A lot of instability in the country, again, when we are more divided than we have ever been. So I believe the Trump lawsuits will fail. I don't believe Roe v. Wade will be overturned either with this current Supreme Court or even a future one. Who knows? I mean, if you got 9 conservative justices, okay, they might actually do it, all right, but I doubt it. I think that's a little less risky as far as stability than overturning the election, but stability, this is what courts love, all right? Whether a justice, a court, a judge, all right, is liberal or conservative, like appointed by a liberal or appointed by a conservative because of their political leanings, or maybe they ran for election as a particular part of a party, all right, whether they're liberal or conservative, they value stability. Stability is the biggest thing when it comes to the courts. I see this in just on minor cases or in criminal cases, okay? They want to treat everybody the same. They want to move things along efficiently. And one of the biggest things that the judges are concerned about, and they should be, is being seen as legitimate and credible and maintaining stability. Now, a minor judge, it's, their decisions are not going to be as impactful. But I'm telling you, these huge lawsuits to overturn an election through the legal process, judges aren't going to do it. They're going to find a way out of it. It's just not going to happen. Minus some extremely glaring fraud not going to happen. I think the same is true of Roe v. Wade. It would cause instability. The Obergefell decision a few years ago, which legalized gay marriage, even though we have a conservative Supreme Court, I don't believe either of those decisions are at risk of being significantly overturned. The courts could chip away at them, but I doubt it. I think this Supreme Court, you already got a taste. They're going to expand religious rights, and this is true of the history of America generally. Is sort of an expansion of rights. It's not that common for rights to be taken away in this country. They tend to continuously expand. Like we've expanded privacy rights, okay? I think the Supreme Court could expand the Second Amendment. They're going to create greater protections, expand the right to bear arms. This is a conservative court. They're going to expand religious freedoms, all right? They're going to focus on expanding the rights of conservative causes rather than clamping down on some rights that liberal courts made. And I believe the same is generally true if you have a majority liberal court, okay? They're going to do the same thing. They're going to focus on expanding liberal rights and just sort of leave the conservative stuff alone. And I believe that's what you're going to see from this court. You'll see an expansion of free market principles, which are in line with conservatism, the Second Amendment, religious principles, freedom of speech. But I don't think they're going to also concurrently squeeze other rights. I doubt that we will see that. Again, Courts value stability over all else. Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, if you want me to cover a specific topic, drop that in the comments. Tonight, 8 o'clock, I will be going live answering legal questions. You can call in or chat me, okay? And I will let you know what I think. We're going to be talking about the law, 8 o'clock tonight. Joe the Lawyer, thank you for tuning in.